Today we're back on the 2010 Dodge Charger, and if you're wondering what I mean by back, we've done a lot of maintenance issues, or we've taken care of a lot of maintenance issues on this car, and I'll have a link in the description below as well as on the screen here. Today we're going to be changing the oil, and if you've got a Chrysler 3.5, you've probably heard a ticking noise. It's common with these engines. There's a flaw in the way they manufacture the rocker arm assembly, so one thing I want to try to do to quiet this engine down is I want to try this Lucas oil stabilizer, and as you can see I've got an OEM oil filter and then I got some oil. This is full synthetic, bought it at Rural King, $20. It's probably not the best, but I think it'll be good enough. So we're going to go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is take the oil fill cap off, and then now we're ready to go down below, drain some oil. Alright, here we are under the car. We'll get acquainted with what's going on here. You can see the oil filter is here, oil pan is here, and then right there is the oil drain plug. So we'll find a socket that fits that, and you can see we got a drain pan right here. I think we're shooting for a 14 or a 15. I'm going to start with a 15. Okay, well, it looks like it's a 16. We're going to go ahead and loosen this. And this has probably been changed at, oil change places, so it's probably on here a little extra tight. The judo chop's not doing the work. Kind of makes you question if they put these on with impacts or not. Alright, we got it broke loose there. There we go. Alright. So, in most of these oil change videos, I try to show you how to do this without getting your hands filthy. I'm going to try it again today. All we're going to do is back this off, putting pressure on it, and then as it comes to the end of the threads, you're still pushing on it, but then you lift up and out of the way, in theory. So we'll see how that works. Make sure you got the drain pan in place properly. I know you can't really see what's going on here, but we're at the end of the threads. Twist a little more. Little more. There we go. And you can see my hands are clean still. Usually I can do this successfully, but I leave the plug in here and still get my hands all filthy. So we're going to let this drain for a little bit, and then we'll come back, put the drain plug back in. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put the drain plug back in. Alright, and what I've been finding online is the torque spec on this is 20 foot-pounds. So I'm going to set my torque wrench to 20 foot-pounds. Alright, you've seen how much, that was not over-tightened, and we're at 20 foot-pounds. Should be plenty. There's a rubber seal on here. So we'll see if we can get this oil filter out now. Well, let's see what happens when we try to remove this oil filter. I'm gonna guess since the drain plug was over tightened, this is probably gonna be over tightened as well. Could be wrong, but this is kind of what I think is gonna happen. Okay. I mean, normally you should be able to turn that by hand, and it wasn't like I was being real gentle with it. Yeah, that's way tighter than it needs to be, but that's one of the things that you just deal with when you take a car to an oil change place. not saying anything bad, it's just when you do it yourself, you know, if you do the research and you know what you're needing to do, you can feel better about it, I guess. So here we're just gonna unscrew it until it pours out a little bit. Let that drain for a few minutes or a couple minutes. Guess I'm getting my hand a little bit dirty here. But got a rag handy. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get the new oil filter ready. Open the new oil. Probably the handiest knife I've ever owned. I'll put a link in the description below for it. And then once you get it, you'll be like, wow, I can't believe I lived without this. Okay, so we got the new filter. We're just going to get some new oil on our finger. Got some new oil here. Just put it on this rubber ring here, and that'll keep it from seizing to the engine block and being difficult to take off. You know, maybe that's what was going on with the old one. Maybe this step was skipped, or it was just over tightened. So now we're ready to put this in. Alright, I'm just going to clean the mating surface where the filter touches the block. Just like that. Try and clean up any little spills we had. I'll have a link in the description for the oil filter. It is MO339, and right there, that's plenty tight, and you can see I didn't really crank on it too hard. You get it tight and then just a little bit more, and it's good. Alright, let's go to the top side and put our oil in. An oil change on these Chrysler 3.5 V6s calls for 6 quarts if you're doing the filter. I don't know why they specify that, because every time I change oil, I change the filter. So we're going to go ahead and use a 5-quart container and also a 1-quart container of the Lucas oil. I'm going to start with the Lucas oil just so I know all of it's in there. And this stuff's pretty thick. You can see pours out a little better than honey, but it's still pretty thick. Okay, that's pretty well done. We'll go ahead and put the oil in. Alright, we're going to give that funnel a minute to drain completely since we got that Lucas oil on there. We're going to go ahead and kind of clean up this seal. There's a little O-ring on here. This one actually feels really hard. We should replace that, but I don't have one to replace it with. Alright, we're going to take the funnel out, replace the cap. We'll start the car, back it down off the ramps, and pull it back in, check the oil, and make sure we're in a good spot. Alright, we're down off the ramp, so let's go ahead and check the oil. Oh, that's a nice dipstick here. you didn't know, I've had to replace this dipstick because the original one broke, and I did make a video on that, and I'll link that up here at the top and in the description below. Alright, maybe you can see that we're halfway up the hatch marks and we are good to go. If you found this video to be helpful, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and all related tools will be in the description below as well, links to those. Ramps, jack stands, the oil filter, not the exact oil I used, but you know, everything that you'll need to do an oil change on your Chrysler Dodge 3.5 liter V6. Thanks for watching.